Good day and welcome. Today we are going to be talking about the Yashica D, as you might have seen. This is a twin lens reflex camera, medium format, and can take some astonishing pictures if you know how to handle it. Now we are going to talk on how to use the camera, how to take your first picture, and how to load your first roll of film, since most likely you are unfamiliar with medium format. We are going to open the camera from the bottom and turn the screw here to O, to open. Once it's open, we can see that either the previous owner or you left your last spool in there from the previous roll of film. Now, we are going to take our roll of film, our roll of very old expired Kodak Gold. We are going to put the film in the bottom take-up area, and we are going to make sure we have a slot on the top where we can put our leader in. We are going to pull out quite a bit of leader, and then we are going to be putting it all in there and give it some pressure so it will most certainly catch. And it did not. That happens sometimes. Sometimes it just does not want to cooperate. Now we are going to try again with a little more pressure on there and a little more pressure on here. Does it catch? Yes, it does. Now I'm quite happy. Usually with newer films they have slightly thicker packing paper, I have found, and they are new films, of course. They tend to take up the new reel a lot easier. Now we are going to wind until we see these two arrows coming up. We are going to line them up with the red arrows in the camera. Then we stop. We close the back. Take off the lens caps now. And we can open here to see how it looks if you had a Yashica A. You can see the film is winding on. First there was an S here, now that's gone, and now it becomes a red arrow. We can show it from here, I believe. There we go. There is the end of the arrow, and here comes number 1 as well as here. There will be a number 1 too. Followed by the words of Kodak Gold. You can see here number 1 is in here as well, and number 1 is here. And now we can set our film speed, which is 200 ISO, so 200 ASA as well. I'm not sure whether you can see that, but on my camera picks it up. Yeah, it does. Well, that's 200 ISO. Now, how to take your first picture. You need to know how much light there is, of course. That's where these come in. These are light meters. They are quite handy. You just set your ISO on there as well. Although all the old camera equipment tends to say ASA. It is ISO, however. You line up your green pointer with your needle, and it says 1/50th at f11 on my artificial light source, which is of course incorrect, but let's say it is so. This would be, I would say, a shadowy day. We are going to put it on 1/50th and at f11. There it is. See? You set your shutter speed with this dial and your aperture with this one, as is set by the camera itself as well. This is the self timer, this is the flash synchronization. We'll go into that deeper ever so slightly later. Now we open the top as well, and you can see my light, I presume. And no, you can. Yes, you can. And we are trying to focus on that, but the maximum focus distance, at least the closest one, is 1 meter, and this is definitely less than 1 meter. You cock your shutter. This is your shutter button. You line up your shot, take the picture, and you wind to your next frame. That's all there is to it. And now let's explain flash. Now, this is ever so slightly more difficult, especially when using a bulb flash. I here have a regular flash, but I lost my synchronization cord somewhere in my mess. You put your ISO here, you read off what distance you are away from and what aperture you need to use. You just turn it on and flash. Well, with a bulb flash it's ever so slightly different. Ever so slightly different by a lot. You happen to use, you read off your ISO on the box, which is 200. You see you have a distance of 6 meters, 4.5 meters and 3 meters possible, and a guide number of 52. We can go ever so slightly closer, I presume. I do have a table with one of my other boxes of flash bulbs. I do not have a lot of these, since they tend to get quite rare over time. Here we can see all the guide numbers. It is Philips, so it is mostly in Dutch, but when you use feet you use the red numbers, and when you use meters you use the black numbers. So for 1/200 to 1/300 of a second on M synchronization, which is set here, X is for all electronic flashes, and do not ever use the self timer on this camera when you have the synchronization set to M. 16 to 200 ISO, our guide number is 25. That's a lot less, and that's way nicer, because we can go to the minimum focus distance at f22, which is bloody marvelous. Now I'm going to close this box up again, because this is one of my more precious boxes of flash bulbs. Now, for demonstration purposes, I've decided not to fire a bulb, but to tell you what would happen. This bulb would give off a lot of light, and then when that is done, you flick out the bulb. Now with me it's not going to give any light if I'm correct. Now we are going to set the speed to 1/250th of a second, all the way to the maximum aperture, and make sure our synchronization, if you can see it there, is set to M. That's that yellow lever. Do not use the self timer, as I said, that's really important, or you'll jam the shutter. Now we are going to cock the shutter, point away our flash because it's truly blinding, although it will not fire today. We take our shot once again. Now it did not fire, that's what I said it would. And when you have fired the flash bulb, it will become all burnt up inside, and the glass will shatter, because although it won't break loose, it will shatter because there's a protective coating on there. That's how you get your bulb out. That's about it, I believe. If you have any questions, do put in a comment, and go take pictures with your newly acquired or heirloom Yashica D, or whatever. Just go take pictures. That was about it. Oh wait, how to end the roll of film. That's a lot easier. I'm going to show you from the film's perspective. I'm going to open the back. Do not ever do this, because otherwise you'll expose all your film. I'm going to open the back. You just wind on through all your pictures, all of them, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, last picture. Then it ends. It squeaks, doesn't it? And you get your wax seal. You roll it all up there. and success. You take out your roll of film, lick the hell out of, like lick the back of this like if it was a stamp, wrap it around, and you're done. That's how to take out your film. Make sure to keep pressure on it, otherwise light might come in. Anyways, that was it. A quick 10-minute video. Probably ever so slightly boring, but anyways, thank you for watching, and drop any questions down below and I'll try to answer them.